about making a living, and a lot of us work really hard for our keep, and we believe like my wife always says, we have the secret sauce, and we're trying to spread it around to many as people as possible. And Core Financial Partners is founded on financial education. Latoya and I, about 13 years ago, 12 to be exact, in 2007, we looked around and noticed that we did a lot of personal development. We've been blessed to really have an entrepreneur spirit and coming into our marriage and believe in personal development. The thing that we fell short on in our personal development, however, was the fact that we wasn't learning much about how money works. We learned a lot about people. We really grew in our spiritual life. We knew about communicating and leading people, being led, all those things that really matter. But the one thing that was eluding us, because it wasn't provided in any education platform that we was a part of, was financial education. And because of that, we literally watched over 7 figures go through our fingers and go through our personal economy within a 7-year period. And we knew something was really wrong. Right. To come from humble beginnings, where, we just wasn't born with a silver spoon in our mouth, to allow money to slip through our fingers like that, it was almost disrespectful to money. And we then started pursuing financial education in 2007. By 2009, we pursued our license. It became licensing financial service agents in the industry. And by 2014, we started Core Financial Partners and really started bringing in that vision and making it real crystal clear. And we're really excited about what we can do, not just for ourselves, but for others. And we really, really believe that it's starting to come together where the people that are real serious about their money is all here for them and on their behalf with Core Financial Partners.
Yes.
So what I want you to do is sit back, relax on this movie you're about to watch, and take good notes though, because what's going to happen is this, and then we'll turn it over to Latoya. You're going to come out of this with more questions than answers. This is more about awareness today, and it's going to really start taking layers back off of what we're doing with our money and versus what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited because I know where we were when we first saw this. So enjoy it, and we look forward to possibly speaking with you in the near future. So right over to you, Latoya.
Okay. And did you want to record?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Thanks, Shante.
You didn't record?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, guys. One more thing.
We didn't get all that I said. Okay. Okay, what we have? Just which one is computer?
Record right there. Yes.
Okay.
On computer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What does it say? Okay, I see it. Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna rewind real quick. And Tony, can you repeat everything you just said?
Just like
we wanted to record, but oh well. Okay. So again, thank you guys for joining us. You count it not robbery that you're taking time out of your evening. I know you could be doing 1,000 other things, but you decided to lean in for your financial future, and we really do appreciate that, and we don't take it for granted. And I'm gonna see if this is gonna cooperate with me. Nothing else has been tonight, so there we go. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and let me just minimize this out of my way so I can actually see what's happening. I want to go ahead and start out by just letting you know what our mission is. And our mission is our crusade. If you see our logo, our tagline is your goals, our crusade, because every one of our clients' goals does become our crusade. We are on a mission, like Tony said, to get this information out to everybody. It's uncommon information. It's not information that's being shared through mainstream media, which is where most people get their financial advice from, which is a really, really sad thing because but we were a part of that. But we decided that we wanted to get uncommon information from for our financial future. Is that okay? Okay, so we decided, I think so. We decided we wanted to get uncommon information for our financial future instead of getting what everyone else was getting, because we realized we were winding up with the same results no matter how much money we made. So our mission comes out of pure frustration, guys. It comes out of pure frustration for where we were in our lives, and we knew it was a better way. And this is what God gave to us. So our mission is to help our clients go from survival, if this will work for me, from survival to security to success to significance. I'm just putting them all up there. Is this plugged in? Okay. So survival was living, paycheck to paycheck. Who here, knows what that's all about? Paycheck to paycheck is not fun. You got more month left at the end of your money, and nobody likes to be in a situation where they don't feel like they have security. So that's what we want to help our clients get to next. The security. Okay, 6 months of income saved or expenses saved, where people can feel like, if something like 2008 hits again, I can at least have that cushion. I don't have to panic, while the market sorts itself out, right? And then we want to get our clients to assets, cash flowing assets, which can lead to independence, financial independence. That is success, guys. That's success, and that's going to have a lot of people sleeping a lot better at night as far as their finances is concerned, but when we get to success is what we do for ourselves, but we can't stop there. We got a whole community around us. We have friends, we have families that are dependent on us to get to the next level, which is significance. And that is freedom. And that is the freedom to make a difference in the lives of others. And I'm talking about legacy here, leaving a legacy for you and for those that you care most about. That's where we're headed, and that's where we're going. And we want to take as many people with us. So our mission means a lot to us, and it's not just for us. So like I said, we want as many people to go from that survival to security to success to significance, as many people as we possibly can take with us. I can go on and on about the mission. I'm very, very passionate about that. Again, it comes from pure frustration, and now it's about passion, which is what? Love and anger mixed together. Okay? We're very passionate about our crusade and our mission. And then I want to talk about our core philosophy, which is more money doesn't get or keep you out of financial situations. Only financial education can do that. It's evidenced by the fact that you look at lottery winners that win millions, if not tens of millions of dollars, and the statistic is staggering that within 5 years, they're back to broke. They're back to broke, and that is only because their income increased, but their financial wherewithal did not expand along with that bottom line. And so we know that wherever your mindset is, your income, your wealth will shrink back to meet it. Okay, so we have to raise our financial IQ along with our incomes. As a matter of fact, they're synonymous. Okay, sometimes most people can't raise their bottom line until they raise their financial IQ. But definitely, if you get a windfall, if you don't have the financial wherewithal and the education to go along with it, the people that do understand money, they're going to wind up with it. Okay, I'm a witness. Okay, so do not do that to yourselves, your family, or your future. Get the financial education that we all so desperately need. So now my time was short, but I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to my husband so he can talk about how we help people plug financial holes in their personal economy.
Awesome job. Well, right here we're going to talk about what the true problem is when it comes to most people's what we call their personal economy. Mm-hmm. The faucet that the word is coming out represents actually you earning your money, earning your keep. And then where the money's going is in your personal economy, the way you live, all the lifestyle things you're doing. The thing about that, though, is the money, if you notice, is flowing out the other end of the bucket, right? The bucket is your personal economy, and it has holes in it. So it's a lot of inefficiencies happening with most people's money as they bring it into their household or their business. It could be their business as well. So what we believe is We're here to help people bring it to whole. We want their personal economy to look more like this, where there's no leaks and inefficiencies. Because how would it feel to make $1 million just to find out you lost $1 million along the way? That's what happens to most people when they get closer to the retirement age. After working 20, 30, 40 years, they come to find out that all they did to prepare for their financial future wasn't enough to retire and live to life expectancy. And where we come in at, we show them how to bring that back to reality and make it work for them. Because think about this. Let me go back here. Those leaks in the bucket is being affected by taxes, interest, and debt. We all are familiar with those terminologies and those concepts. But the one part of this leakage or these inefficiencies in someone's personal economy, it would be opportunity cost. Opportunity cost was never shared with me ever in my life until 6 years ago when this was brought to my attention. And this is the centerpiece to all of the inefficiencies that happen in most people's personal economy. So let's look at what opportunity cost is. If you're taking notes, this is the main thing to take notes on tonight. It's stopping me from moving.
Okay.
Okay, people trying to get in. Okay, here we go. Can you do it again? You gotta click
Sure, you click it.
Okay. Can you do it? Hit it move. Sorry about that.
You gotta. Now do it.
Okay. So let's look at opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is actually the opposite of accounting cost. Accounting cost is what we exchange our dollar for. It's what we want in goods or service, right? Whatever that might be. It might be a car, vacation. It might be a new furniture, whatever it might be, right? We always look at the accounting cost. How much is it going to cost me? Is it worth my money, right? However, though, we've never been taught in looking at the opportunity cost of our money. Opportunity cost is the future value of your spent dollars, right? That's what opportunity cost is. What is that money worth and going to earn me in the next 10, 20, 30 years if I don't move it out of my account, right? Moving out of the account is taking away the potential of the growth that it can give you. Because whatever your money could have earned you is gone once you have spent it. Because spent dollars are gone forever. I'm going to give you an analogy with $10,000, an example, with $10,000. Let's say you had $10,000 in your possession and you had a chance to keep it, or you had a chance to look at the accounting costs and to spend it. You say, okay, that car is worth 10 grand. That home improvement is worth 10 grand. So I'm going to give this money away and get exchanged for the service of goods. But let's look at what it's worth before we give it away. If you had $10,000 and you was able to get a return of 6% on that $10,000 annually, let's see what that would grow to in 30 years. That's what opportunity cost would be. What is it in the future? This is what it would be. It will be another $50,000. Think about it. You turned 10, shook it around, threw it up, and came back down, and it's $50,000. But we don't look at money like that.
No.
We make that exchange without even thinking twice about it. And that's where it changed our lives 6 years ago when we learned about opportunity cost. All the money Latoya and I were spending on raising our 5 kids, and the money we spent on moving and buying cars and improvement on our homes and going on vacations. I can go on and on and on. And that money is gone forever. And we just didn't want that to happen to another person that we ever could come in contact with. So let's look at how did that money grow to $50,000. It's a simple rule on how compound interest work. It's called the rule of 72. You should write that down. The rule of 72. And how money compounds is here. Here it is right here. All you have to do is look at the interest rate your money is getting gains on, right? And you divide that interest rate number into the number 72. And whatever is divided by, that's the amount of years it's going to take any amount of money to double. So if you had your money at 8%, as you see at the bottom of the screen, and you divided 8 into the number 72, it goes in there 9 times. Easy division, right? So whatever money you have, every 9 years is going to double. Let's look at the math of the $10,000 we just went over. If you had $10,000, and that $10,000 was in a return of 8%, in 9 years, because it goes in there 9 times, In 9 years, you would have 20,000. In 18 years, you would have 40,000. In 27 years, you would have 80,000. Right? If you go 36 years, you're going to have 160,000. Who wants that money to grow like that? Raise your hand if I can see you. That's what the magic of compound interest is. So what I want to do is show you, where do most people have their money though? Are we getting those type of returns on our money? Absolutely we're not. Most are not. Right? Because you look at where most people save and warehouse their money, it's called the traditional bank in America. Not Bank of America, the traditional banks in America.
Any bank, right?
Any bank. TD Bank, Wells Fargo, Citizens Bank. We can go on and on and on. Credit unions, they all give you less, below 2% return. But the average savings account gives you 0.08, 0.8. That's the average savings account. However, though, inflation at the same time, this was statistics from 2018, was 2.44%. So think about it. You have $10,000 in your account, and you're gonna look at the growth on it because they're gonna bless you with 0.08, right? They're gonna say, here, we're gonna bless you with that. But yet, the nasty uncle took from you, he took actually 2.44. So you gained $8, but you spent out and lost $244. So you're in a negative $236 for having your money just sitting in regular bank. Look at $100,000 sitting in a regular bank. With that math, inflation kills your money. You've lost $2,360 by sitting $100,000 in a traditional bank that's giving you less than 1% rate of return. Do you know there's trillions of dollars sitting in traditional banks, in CDs, money market accounts, in savings accounts, and checking accounts? And at the same time, we're using the same banks to finance everything we buy.
Right.
So here it is. We're here to tell the story on how to flow money back to you, not away from you. So let's look at how compound interest real quick. If I'm going to ask you a question. Right here is a rate chart. We did the math from 2% all the way to 15%. If you divide it into 72, the column on the right in that box tells you how many years it takes your money to double. So the math has been done. But let's look at if you was getting 4% on your money, right? Let's say you had $10,000. You was getting 4% on your money. But yet you had a friend of yours, the same 10,000, he was getting 12%, right? That means he's getting 3 times more return on his money than you are, right? So in 30 years, do you think our natural way of thinking, our carnal way of thinking, right, if that's the right word, we would think that they will only have 3 more times money in 30 years. That's what we would think. I used to think that way. Because I'm getting 4, they're getting 12, and 4 goes into 12 3 times, right? Well, watch this. And we just going to do this off easy math. Let's say you put away $1,000 one time at 4% rate of return. And you were 29 years old. And if it doubles as you see, 4 doubles every 18 years, by the time you're in your 80s, you have $8,000, right? Watch this. If it was 6%, you would have $32,000 in your 80s. If it was 8%, you would have $64,000. Well, watch the 12%. Isn't that amazing? Over $500,000 difference based off the same $1,000 invested one time and forgot about it. And it only was 3 times more rate of return, but you end up with, what's that? I can't even tell you the percentage amount. It's like 8,000 versus $500,000. That's the difference in understanding how money works. That's how I look at someone that's putting their savings in a bank and getting less than 1%. Because can you imagine how much that's going to look if you did that with $1,000? It would be embarrassing to show that. But because we didn't know, that was us. That was our story. So let's look at the other problem. The other problem what's happening in most people's personal economy is that 34% of every dollar that we're earning is going towards finance costs. That means if you make $100,000, $34,000 or more is being paid out just to pay debt back down. Think about that. This is This is the average household in America. This is statistic that I didn't make up. We did research on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just look at credit cards. Let me show you this. Watch this. Let's look at credit cards because most households carry credit card debt, right? I know we did. The first column, the first line right there is credit card balance. It's $10,000. And by the way, the average household carries $15,000 in credit card balance. This is being conservative at $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
But think about what credit card balance normally how it works. They call it in the banking industry revolving credit. You know why they call it revolving credit? Because normally when we spend that, pay that back down, right? We pay that debt off. We did revolve it back up, and then we do it again, and we revolve it back up. That's why it's called revolving credit card debt. So this household is going to revolve $10,000, and they're going to pay 18% interest on using the bank's money. Mm-hmm. Capital has a cost to it. You should write that down. Capital has a cost to it. Now, the opportunity cost on this money, right, is the cost you're giving up. Because remember, capital has a cost to it. If we're paying somebody 18% on the money using their money, we're losing 5% on the money we could be earning money from. That's 18% we're giving away, right? So what would that money be at 5%? I'm going to show you that in a second. But let's look at the first line. The first line is how much revolving $10,000 credit card debt will cost you. And the first year alone is almost $2,000. In 20 years, what's that? $39,000. In 40 years of revolving credit over and over again, back and forth, you would spend almost $80,000 in just interest. We're not even talking about the principal. This is just the interest. Well, now watch this. Capital has a cost to it. We give up our capital to the bank. So how much we could have earned if we'd have kept that interest cost to ourselves, right? Look how much you would have earned just off 5% return. In 20 years, the interest you paid the bank, if you kept your money, your interest at least, you would have had $65,000 sitting in your account. Mm-hmm. If you did it over a 40-year period, you would have $238,000 sitting in your account based off the interest you paid somebody else. Right? This is where the problem lies. We have to get this word out there. This is what's killing most people's wealth, is the cost of money, to use somebody else's money in this fashion, right? But look at what the banks are earning. Remember, somebody's getting paid here. 18% interest? Mm-hmm. Somebody's making out like a fat rat. Fat cat. Which one is it? A fat cat. Fat cat. Something like that, right? Here we go. Now, the interest on your credit card is 18%. The bank in 20 years is going to earn $355,000 of that off of that money. But look what they earned in 40 years. They've earned over $13 million off of us paying 18% interest to them for using their money. Capital has a cost to it. That is a huge cost. Now, this is the caveat. How do I be the bank and pay that to myself? That is what we're here for today. Right. How do we resolve this? And that's what we're about to get into. We went over a 35,000-foot view of the problem. Now, what is the solution? Mm-hmm. Well, Latoya, I'm going to turn it back over to her because she is amazing at understanding this and being able to relate this over to other people.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So this is one of my favorite ways to make how we make our major capital purchases live and breathe is through the three money personalities. It's the way I understood it. When I first, the way I spent money was revealed unto me. So I kind of stuck with it here because it really, most of us fall into one of these three categories here. One of the categories all of us fall into, right? So if you're not familiar with what a major capital purchase is, to be real simplistic about it, major capital purchase is anything your monthly cash flow cannot handle. So after you have gotten paid and you've paid all your bills, and let's say the water heater breaks, the air conditioner goes, you need new tires for your car, something happens anything happens that you don't have enough savings, that you don't have enough monthly cash flow to take care of, and you got to go into your savings, you got to put it on a credit card, you got to go get payday loan, whatever you got to do outside of your monthly cash flow is a major capital purchase. And that can include Christmas. Okay, because Christmas is emergencies to some people.
Like
I know it was fun.
No doubt.
When our babies were little, look, it's emergency. All right, so I ain't gonna fake the funk, y'all. I know what Christmas is. Okay, so three ways of making major capital purchases. Let's do the three money personalities. Let's look at the debtor first. So let's look at how the debtor makes their major capital purchases. They work to spend, number one. They have no savings. They earn no interest, but they do pay interest, like Tony just got finished talking about, and they paying it out hefty. And they borrow from and make payments to the lender at the highest market rates, using future earning potential as collateral. Okay, so that is the debtor. Okay, you don't have to raise your hand or anything like that if I was just talking about you. Everybody can keep it to themselves. Don't worry about it. Nobody's going to be telling on you today. Number two is the saver. Okay, so the saver, this person, they believe firmly that I will owe no man nothing but to love him. Okay, so they save to avoid paying interest. They don't want to pay it. It's the devil. They earn interest and they pay cash for everything. Okay, because that's what their grandmama did and that's what their mama did, and daggone it, that's what I'm going to do. And they borrow from themselves. They reduce their collateral position when they do that. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means. And they reset the compounding of their money every time they do that. And then they make payments back to themselves, giving up the interest they would have earned as they drain their tank and fill it back up. Okay, so that's the saver. That's how they make their major capital purchases. And then we have the wealth creator. Okay, the wealth creator, they save and use OPM to maximize efficiency of their money. So because everybody's muted out, or it's supposed to be, I'm just going to give you an open book answer. OPM is other people's money, right? Most people don't. 40. Yeah, for those under 40. Because mainly people over 40 know what other people's OPM is, which is other people's money. So they know how to use it. They do it very, very well. They earn compound interest. They collateralize their purchases with everything that they do outside of their monthly cash flow. They borrow from a lender at negotiated rates. They use their own money as collateral. Their money continues to earn uninterrupted compound interest. Okay, so they got it working nicely. They know how money works, and they are using it to their advantage. Okay, they also make unstructured, flexible payments to the lender of their choice, maximizing the benefits of private family banking. And we're going to get right into what that encompasses. So let's look at the problem with consumer debt. I know it's obvious, right? It's debt, but it's an obligation on future earnings. The debtor's money is spent before they even get it. And that's not good, right? So we lose capital to purchases and financing costs forever. And like Tony said, once money is spent, it's gone forever, okay? Then they become a slave to the lender, ouch. And then they lose control of their financial picture altogether, okay? So this is what the debtor's personal economy looks like. Okay, let me see if I can, make this move here. Okay, so the debtor has their zero line, and they are here at zero. But the thing that they want, need, desire comes up, they don't have the money to get it because they're zero. So they borrow. The debtor says, I'm going to borrow past zero. And I'm going to go to whoever, whatever, and get what I need. And so they got that payment plan, and then they pay back to what? Zero. And then the next thing comes up. They don't have money, but they got their plan. So they just gonna borrow past zero, and then they do it again, and they borrow and they pay back to zero, and that just keeps going. And this is basically what the debtor's personal economy looks like. So we know that consumer debt is an inefficient purchasing strategy because the initial purchase is lost as well as the interest owed, causing further loss that can compound and spiral out of control. And we've seen it. People get depressed. We've seen people take their lives over debt, which is like, wow, so debt is nothing to play around with. Psychologically, it does things to people that should not be happening, okay? So that's the debtor. And then we have the saver. And let's look at the problem with paying cash. You might say, okay, well, what could be the problem with paying cash? Okay, this is the problem with paying cash. To pay cash, you first need to save cash. Now, I'm going to say something that might blow the socks off of a lot of people here today. But today, guys, hear me well. Savers have become losers. One of the things we have not talked about yet is inflation. We talked about taxes, we talked about interest and all that, but we have not talked about the silent killer of wealth, which is inflation. Okay, Tony talked about it. You got $100,000, $10,000 sitting in the bank account, and your money's losing more money than it's making. That is the problem with saving. That's the problem with saving cash. And then on top of that, you got annual tax leakage, because whatever you are saving, like you call him the nasty uncle, I call him the greedy uncle. Tony called him the nasty uncle.
He's lazy.
He's going to get in there and get his piece of the capital gains taxes. So you're like doubly losing, okay? So the saver is up against a lot, even though they're doing exactly the right thing. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. This is what their grandmama did. This is what their mama did. You know, it worked for them. It's going to work for me, but it's not working anymore because of the financial and economic environment that we're in right now that a lot of people are not aware of what's happening with money, okay? Then the other problem is they got to drain that savings tank, y'all, to make that purchase. So now, again, like Tony talked about, opportunity cost. So that's not good. So this is the saver's personal economy. They have a zero line too, right? So they're at the zero line. They don't have what they need, what they need to get what they want, need, or desire, right? So they are going to save. If you notice, a saver is like a reverse debtor, right? Mm-hmm. So they save up till they get to meet their goal, and then they drain that savings tank to get what they want. And then the next thing is coming. But they're planners, they're savers. So they're going to save, and then they're going to drain that tank. And guys, that's what their personal economy looks like. And they lose the interest they could have earned had they not drained their savings tank. And this is what is meant by opportunity cost, like what Tony went over. Then we have the wealth creator. Now, this is the person that saves, use other people's money to maximize the efficiency of their money. Okay, they maintain. Listen to these words very carefully. Write them down. Liquidity, use, and control. That's what you want to have of your money, because that's what the wealth creator has, okay? Because, you know, I wasn't the wealth creator, and I wanted to know what they were doing. And when I found out that these three things were the main components of what they were doing, oh, you best believe I implemented it right away. While most Americans borrow because they have to, wealth creators borrow because they want to, because they understand money. They know how to leverage. They use arbitrage, okay, which is just moving money around to your advantage, okay? So this is the wealth creators' personal economy. They have a zero line too. They start at their zero line, but they don't stay there, okay? Their money moves up and to the right. You notice that? Is no, you know, going back down or anything like that. No dips and volleys, right? But they're also borrowing money. They're borrowing money too to get the things they need, want, and desire. But because their money is collateralized, they're not draining their savings tank. They're not losing opportunity costs on their money. None of that's happening. And even while they're borrowing money, their money is still growing to the point that the money that they're borrowing is costing them less and less and less because their money is outpacing what they're borrowing, because this is what they understand. Compound interest earns them more than amortizing interest costs you. They get that. EVA, economic value added. That's another sermon for another day, though. Okay? Like my pastor would say. Okay? But that is definitely what the wealth creator has figured out. And anyone can become a wealth creator, guys, once you gain the right philosophy and strategies and then take the steps to do it. You can become a wealth creator too, okay? So let's make what I just talked about live and breathe. We're going to look at the wealth creator versus the saver. We're going to look at uninterrupted versus interrupted compound interest. Can you tell who the wealth creator is on this chart? Okay, so the wealth creator is here in the green and the saver is here in the red. So what we're looking at is each one of them is contributing $5,000 to an account, right? And it's per year at a traditional bank. And they're getting a 5% rate of return. They're going to do it over 30 years. But the difference between the wealth creator and the saver is this is what the saver is doing. The saver is draining their tank every 5 years. And then they're taking 4 years to refill it, okay? While the wealth creator is collateralizing their money and using and utilizing OPM. So the difference in what they're doing, even though they're saving the same exact amount of money, is this. The wealth creator at the end of 30 years is going to have $353,804 in this account, while the saver is going to have $71,034 in this account. And that is a difference. That is a difference of $282,770. Same money, different strategies, different ways of looking at money. The wealth creators decided to look at their money take a layer deeper look at their money, while the saver said, you know what, I'm not going to owe no man nothing but the love him. It worked for my mama. It worked for my grandmama. Doggone it is going to work for me. Okay? And they got 71,000, but they could have had 353,000. Okay? So that's the difference in those two strategies. And that is a huge difference. Okay? And that's just $5,000 annually. I mean, really think about the money that we know we spend on an annual basis that maybe we could be saving and collateralizing and doing what the wealth creator is doing, where we would be today. I shudder to think. Okay. So let's look at best financing practices. How should I pay for it, guys? So I'm going to run through this real quick. Okay. Because I don't want to hold you long. I really want to get this information to you. We're going to look at 5 methods to finance cars for life. So we're going to look at different ways that people do purchase cars. One car every 4 years at $10,550 each over 44 years equals 11 cars. Try saying that fast 3 times. Okay. So this is what we're going to look at. We're going to look at the first method being the lease method. If a person decided to do the lease method for all 11 cars over those 44 years, they would spend away from themselves $175,000. So that's the lease method. But the other thing about the lease is, at the end of the lease, what do you have to do, guys? You gotta what?
Give it back.
You gotta get that car back. So not only are you out of $175,000, plus let's not even talk about the opportunity cost on that money. You don't even have a car. You don't even have the car to speak of. Okay, so that's the lease method. Then we're going to look at bank financing, which they've made out a little better than the lease method, which coincidentally is up. Leasing is up like over 30%. People are really leasing cars a lot now. But the bank finance, they fared a little better at $137,280. Again, still over $100,000 that's gone, right? Spent, gone forever. Then we can look at the cash method. Here's that saver, guys. We know that 11 cars times $10,550 equals $116,050 because they like cash. That's all. Cash is queen. Okay. Then we're gonna look at.
I thought it was king.
It's queen.
Okay. Oh, did y'all hear that?
I thought I slipped that one in there. I thought I slipped that one in there, ladies. Okay. So
that's king. Cash was king.
You heard that? Queen.
Come on now.
Okay, so now we're going to look at the CD method. Okay, guys, do y'all notice anything different here? Do y'all notice what is happening with the CD method? I mean, it's above the zero line. It's not negative. They got some cash in the bank after purchasing 11 cars, and it's over $250,000. I'm like, what? When somebody was, what's the CD method, and why have I never heard of it? I mean, that's impressive, okay? But what's even more impressive and astounding is the private family banking method. Do you notice anything different there? Okay? Yeah. It's outpacing, for this example, it's outpacing the CD method by over $700,000. I mean, come on. I was floored when I saw this, and I just could not wait to see what this was all about and how could I take advantage of it. Because, I mean, on the credit card, when we talked about the interest that we're paying on credit card interest over 40 years, the bank was getting $13 million. And I don't know about you, but the thing that popped into my mind was, how can I be the bank?
That's right.
Okay? I don't want to be the debtor. I don't want to be the person with the credit card. I want to be the person that owns the bank that has the credit card. How can I do that? Okay, so let's lean in and look at what private family banking is all about. Again, I like to tell stories, y'all. So here we go. We got a tale of 2 sisters, Sister A and Sister B. They twins. Can y'all tell? Okay, so we got 2 sisters that's going to capitalize. I got to do this. Their private family bank, okay, for 7 years. Okay, so each one of them is going to put away $5,000 a year, which is about $416 a month for 7 years each, effectively saving $35,000. So Sister A, she's going to be demonstrating the CD method, and Sister B is going to be demonstrating the private family banking method. Okay, so at the end of the 7 years, if you notice, Sister A is kind of outpacing Sister B. She got $41,017 in her traditional CD at a bank, while her sister, she's listening to the Chamblees, right? We telling her about private family banking. She's intrigued. She wants to, be her own boss. And how many of y'all know what it costs to be the boss? Okay, so she said So her sister is like, "Are you crazy, girl? You listening to these Chamblees? You need to come on to my bank and sit down with my banker and learn how this CD method works, because you behind me and we did the same thing." And she like, "No, I believe in private family banking. I like the sound of this. I like being in control of my money. I'm gonna run on to see what the end gonna be." Okay, so she's at $35,960, but let's see how the sisters fare. So now they got their banks capitalized. They put their $35,000 in one time, never added another dime to it. What they did was start purchasing their cars. So Sister A bought her first car, Sister B bought her first car, $10,550. But instead of saying, "I have a car, I got it free and clear, I don't have a car note," hallelujah, right? They decide to start paying themselves back. They decide to be their own source of financing and use their banks to be their own banker. Okay, so they set up payment plans for themselves, just like they would if they had the, outside financing. So $252 was paid per month back to their private family bank, $3,030 a year over 4 years. Each one of them paid themselves 10%. Inside of that, 10% was paid back to their bank as well. So because they would have paid probably a higher interest rate than that had they gone outside for their financing needs. Okay, so now we get to car 10 and car 11, and we're done. Okay, they look good for 60 something, don't they?
Oh, yeah,
44, right? 44 years, they hold up well. Anyway, so then, Sister A, of course, she's the saver. So we got her purchases at $116,050, and she earned $141,950 in interest from the bank, which again is impressive. Okay, like we said, we had almost at negative interest rates with the bank, and so she was able to pull that out of a CD account over those years. That's impressive. $258,000 to her. Hat goes off. But then her sister, she did the same exact thing, y'all. Sister B, she just knocked it out of the park. She got her purchases the same, $116,050, paid herself back, but she earned $847,950 for her total to be $964,000. So both of them had the same amount of money. Both of them did the same exact thing. Both of them saved, paid themselves back the same interest rate. How in the world did her sister wind up with such a huge disparity over, how did Sister B wind up over Sister A like this? So let's look at it. At retirement, Sister A, she was able to pull out $50,000 a year for 5 years because that was the lifestyle she was accustomed to, y'all. We know about that. But after 5 years, she was broke, okay? She had to go back to work because she didn't adjust herself accordingly, right? And I guess she didn't think she had to, okay? And then Sister B, she was able to pull out $650,000 to live her lifestyle that she wanted to live until her passing, and she still left behind a $1.3 million estate. I mean, that's incredible. How did she do that? How exactly did she do that? So let's look at what happened and why these two sisters did the same thing effectively, but wound up with such different bottom lines. So the shareholders of the bank invested the money and the time to start the business for Sister A. Thus, the profits earned by the bank went to the shareholders, not Sister A. So she earned interest, but she earned no profits, okay? While her sister, as the contract holder, Sister B, she invested the time and the money to start the business. So profits were earned by her as the contract holder in the form of dividends. So she earned interest and she earned dividends. I mean, she knew something because she knew us, okay? So she knew,
somebody from course.
She said, look, if you know what's going on, you know what to do. And we put her down with what was going on, and she knew what to do, and this was her outcome, right? Here's the other secret. Sister A, she earned no dividends, and she paid taxes on all of her capital gains. And taxes, guys, is a killer. It's the number one eroder of wealth. Number one.
Biggest holder in the
Wow, yes. While Sister B, she earned the interest, she earned the dividends, and she paid 0 in taxes on all that accumulated in her account. I mean, that is the secret, guys. We got to outpace inflation. We have to beat that tax monster down, okay? I'm not telling anybody to evade taxes, but you want to avoid it like the plague, okay? Because that's what the wealthy know. The wealthy know taxes is the #1 eroder of wealth, okay? So what is private family banking? So private family banking is the creation and utilization of a pool of money that's controlled by a private individual. That's all it is. It's your private pool of capital that you can collateralize and use as you see fit. The banking business is all about controlling a pool of capital that can flow at a cost to meet some needs. Just like Tony said, capital has a cost. So here's the key points, guys. The one who puts the money in owns the bank, and the one who owns the bank gets the profits of the bank, like Sister B. Okay, so who here want to be a Sister B? Okay, or Brother B, or however you want to put it, but you want to be Sister B, right? Because that Sister B had it going on, and her results prove that. So we're going to go ahead and look at what the private family banking strategy actually looks like.
Absolutely, awesome job, awesome. I want to make one point and piggyback off of what Latoya just mentioned. I want you to remember in the beginning of Sister A and Sister B, Latoya said it, but I want to make sure it didn't go over anybody's head. Sister B only funded her account with her own dollars, $35,000. $35,000. And she ended up with almost $1 million by banking on herself, through herself, in the own system of banking. And she ended up with almost $1 million from a principal of $35,000. So that's amazing when I think about it. Every time I think about that, anybody can do that. Anybody. It's just gaining the knowledge, knowing what's happening, knowing what to do, and that's what we do at CORE to help you do that. So let's look at what it looks like. She went over what it is, how it operates. Let's look at what it looks like. Right here on the left is a tank where you're funding your savings, right? Not in the traditional savings, because that make you a loser. You're losing money, right? You're not a loser morally and all that. We talk about your money's losing.
That's right.
Here, your money's winning because you're guaranteed 4% minimum. And idea of the fact that where we help our clients put this money in this private family banking system, they're going to also get dividends on top of getting interest. So because you're a partner in a financial institution that's been doing this for over 150 years. So think about that. So let's say you have your $35,000, $40,000 in here like Sister B did, and you're ready to make a major capital purchase as a wealth creator. But let's say you wanted to make a purchase. Normally, when you take $10,000 out of your money, like say you got 40 there, 40,000, and you take 10 to buy a car for 10, you only got 30 earning interest because you lost opportunity cost on 10. You took 10 and spent it, it's gone forever. We went over what $1,000 look over the years. Imagine what $10,000 would look over the years. That you spent it, and we saw every 5 years what the saver end up losing, right? But now that you're a wealth creator in a private family banking, and being informed with that, you can do this. You can partner with the financial institution that we align our clients with. You can now make a major capital purchase and just put a lien on your account. That $10,000 you don't touch. The financial institution says, here, your money's good with us because you partner with us. They're going to give you their 10 out of their general account. Think about that, right? And then you have a choice to pay it back at least at your decision on how much and how often. You decide on the note, not the bank, because you're the bank.
Right.
You make. I decide to write this amount this month. That's the choice you have.
I love that.
That's what becoming your own banker is all about. And this is any major capital purchase. We use it for our vacations. We use it for our cars. We use it for our holidays. We use it for our business expenses. We use it for the assets we buy, the commodities we buy. We use it for everything that's going to cost something outside of our normal income on a monthly basis. And so can you. Okay? So let's come to a close on this. I'm going to give you this analogy, and then we're going to close it out. This shows you that banking is conceptual. It's not a building. We've been taught that a bank is a building. Like we go in there, we open the doors, and we go to the counter. That is not true. That's a myth. Banking is conceptual. You can do banking anywhere when you understand it. So let me give you an analogy of you banking under your mattress. Right? Let's say you had you put yourself in a position to save $100 a month, and this is just for easy math, right? And you save $100 a month, and you did it for a year. If you did that for a year, that's 12 months. You have $1,200 in your account, right? But now it's at the end of the year. It's time to go to the New Year's Eve party, and you need to buy an outfit. So you need to borrow $200 from yourself, right? And you do that. You take $200 from under your mattress. And said, I'm going to go buy me an outfit and enjoy myself. Now, the thing about it, you have to be an honest banker. You got to now think about putting yourself on a payment plan because you still got to pay the $100 a month in savings. That's just a part of what you do. But you got on the side, you got to say, I got to pay myself back that $200. How I'm going to do that? Well, this is how private family banking should work. You should actually put yourself on let's say 4 months to pay the $200 back. That's $50 a month, right? Easy math. Anybody can do that, right? Mm-hmm. But you're not completely banking yet. Remember, banking is what? It's a pool of capital that can flow at a cost to meet some need. Mm-hmm. The flow at a cost means you borrow from yourself, so you got to charge yourself from borrowing from yourself. So let's say you charge yourself 10%. What is 10% of $200? Easy math, I tell you. It's $20, right? So $20 is got to be added to your $200 to pay yourself back 10%. And then you say, look, I'm going to just add it in my payment plan, right? I don't want to hurt my pockets right away. So add it in your payment plan, $50 a month for 4 months is how you was going to put the $200 back. So what if you just add $5 to those 4-month payment plans? Now you're paying back $55 a month for 4 months versus $50. Can anybody do that? Absolutely. Anybody can do that. And now here we go. You paid yourself back the $200 principal plus the 10% interest for borrowing from yourself. You just banked on yourself, right? And now you think about it. If I went over earlier, if you remember what I went over earlier, we went over how the rule of 72 works, right? Mm-hmm. And the rule of 72 says whatever interest rate goes into 72, how many times it goes in there tells you how often your money doubles. So think about it. Do the math real quick. What's 10 divided into 72? I tell you right now, because we ain't got time to wait. It's 7 times. 7 times every 7 years, your money's going to double at 10% rate of return. Do you know most people that have their money on Wall Street will go through walls to get that kind of return? 10% return? So think about that. If your money's doubling every 7 years and you have $40,000 in there like Sister B did, how you living? How's your retirement going to be? How's your generations going to look? It is that simple. Every time we bank on ourselves, we pay ourselves back with at least 10% interest. Because guess what we paying interest on credit cards? 18%. So you know what we try to do? We try to get to that 18 to 20%. Because your money doubles every 3.5 years at 18%. We're already doing it with the credit cards. Why can't we pay ourselves that much money? Right. It's all about our paradigm shift and saying, I'm going to bank on myself from this point on. And your life will change forever in generations to come. Mm-hmm. That's what private family banking system is. And every family deserves to know about this. And every family, I believe, should be putting this in place from this day forward. So let's end this with this one last exercise real quick, or analogy. I'm going to talk about the 3 mentalities because we had to get this in front of us to go through all 3 to get to the 3rd one. We started off with this one, went to the 2nd one, and now we're embracing the 3rd one, okay? And maybe you have to fit and see where you are, see where you fit and see where you are, okay? The first mentality is the poor mentality. Oh, by the way, poor means passing over opportunity regularly, right? And so the only reason people pass over opportunity regularly because of information we don't have. Right. We're not real estate investors because we don't understand real estate yet. I'm saying that's the average person. So the information is out there to gain that, right? So what is poor mentality? Poor mentality is somebody making a living, right? And they don't have to be broke, completely destitute. They can be making money and still have a poor mentality.
Mm-hmm.
The poor mentality says, I'm going to make my money and I'm going to have a little left over. And the little bit I left over, I'm going to do what I do. And that is buy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever comes to mind, I'm just going to go buy it because I got extra money left. Been there, got that, been there, got that, had a t-shirt, right?
Yes.
I owned that one time.
Yes.
No one could argue me down that I won't spend extra money that I had, right? That's the poor mentality. Then we have the middle class mentality. They make good money, probably 2-income household, bringing in 10 grand a month, maybe somewhere close, give or take. But you know what? When we make more money, we spend more money. We in a middle class mentality also don't know the difference between an asset and a liability. They believe their house is an asset that they live in, and it's not. Anything that you got to pay into is a liability. Anything that pays you money monthly or annually or quarterly, whatever it is, that's an asset. Even our cars are told by our banks that that's an asset. It is not an asset if you got to pay into it. So what do middle class do? They buy a lot of liabilities and more liabilities, or they enhance their liabilities. And you know what happened? That's more bills and more income that's going out the expense column, right? And that's the middle class mentality. Let's talk about the wealth mentality. With the wealth mentality, they make a little bit more money possibly, but they could be making only 10 grand a month. It's a mentality.
Mm-hmm.
A mentality has to, in order to get wealthy, we have to start with the mentality before we get the money.
That's right.
So a wealth mentality says, look, I'm only going to live off 60 to 70% of my income. They know not to live off of 100% of the income. They don't rise the expenses up to their income. Their income might double. And guess what they do? They keep that expense right at the same. And guess what? They're going to buy assets with that extra income. Mm-hmm. Whether it's 1,000 or 5,000, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It can be 20,000. Extra 15,000. It don't matter. They're going to buy assets. And then those assets are going to bring more income to the household, to the bottom line. And you know what? They do not start buying more stuff that's not going to be an asset, because they're going to take that extra money they make it monthly and buy another asset. Mm-hmm. And you know what's going to happen? That asset is going to produce what? More income. Mm-hmm. Then after they've done that enough and they satisfy on that monthly recurring income from passive and residual that's coming in while they sleep, they got that sleep money coming through, right? Guess what they do now? They let those assets, real estate, commodities, businesses, you know what they let to do? They let that buy the stuff. Mm-hmm. They let that buy the luxury.
It's a waste. Mm-hmm.
They let that take care of them for the rest of their life, and it's built to the way that it can be passed on to generations to come. If you're a person like we are, and we were, where we were just sick and tired of being sick and tired, mm-hmm. of knowing that I am not ignorant to the point that I can't learn how to make money if that guy over there can make money like that, right? Whoever seen somebody that, they ain't brighter than you, but they making more money than you, right? We know that we can learn it. It's all learnable. That's one thing we've come to conclusion with, that is all learnable, right? And it's all about really focusing on what needs to take place, right? And allowing the methodologies, the education, the information, and being around right people as well, come together and watch how this starts to happen for you and your family.
That's right.
So I'm going to pass it back over to Latoya. She's going to close it out. And I'm just fired up. My brain is on fire now, y'all. I'm about to explode. Let me sit back and relax.
So, guys, that really is our 2 cents for the night. And we really do enjoy what we're doing. We're having a ton of fun while we just make a difference, because we know we're making a difference in people's lives by giving them this uncommon knowledge. Because trust me, what you're getting is uncommon. It is a lot more. There's a lot more to learn and understand about how money really works. But these are the fundamentals that we've been missing out on for so long. But we're like, no more. Once we got this information and we realized that we hadn't had it, our parents didn't have it, their parents didn't have it. And that's why we were in the situations that we were in, even making 6 figures a year. And it just made us angry. It made us angry. And then we got informed, and then we got passionate. Mm-hmm. And we said, that's it. No more with CORE. We are going to get this information out there, and we're going to make sure everybody has at least an opportunity to make an informed decision on information that can affect their financial future, their family, for generations to come. So guys, if you like what you heard and saw, if you're part of, the mindset, if you're in the mindset like we are, no more, go to hardcorebanking.com, put your information in, let us know you heard us. Let us know you want to join the 4S mission. Let us know that you're ready to move forward and you want to affect the generations that's coming after you, because it cannot stop with you. It can't stop with us. We have to make sure the generations coming after us understand money and how it works, because guys, money is like banking. I would say it's in everything. Everything is banking. That's one of the things that we realize. We want to affect people's lives and do good and be charitable. It's all banking. It all boils down to money. And it's a shame that that's the way this world is set up, but that is the way it's set up. Now, I will say this. A lot of people misquote the Bible by saying that that money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil, and that's not so. That's not what the good book says. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. So you have to put money in its place. And with Core Financial Partners, what you're going to understand and get with us is that we trust God. We love people, and we use money, and we do not confuse those three. We make sure that people understand that money is a tool, okay? Money is a tool. We put it in its place, and it's one of the things that we use to keep the proper perspective, which is our clients' goals and what they need, okay? So when okay, yeah, that. So before we get off, I just want to remind everybody to make sure you thank the person that invited you on to listen to this, regardless of where you stand tonight. Just thank them just for letting you get on this and hear this, so you can make a decision and at least know what's going on, because we really believe that if you know what's going on, you know what to do. Again, I want to thank you for joining us. And
yeah, and like LaToya said, this is not always for everybody. Some people are not. Everybody's not ready to make the change in their finances, and we totally respect that, right? Different people in different places in their life. But if you are ready for a change, and you know that this resonates to your spirit, what you are hearing today, that something hasn't been right, and you know you need guidance and you need association that's going to help move you forward and guide you in the right direction, Core Financial Partners is definitely for you. So thank you. I had a bunch of fun, and hopefully you did as well.
All right. Good night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Look forward to talking to you.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.